Good morning, everyone. My name is Aryn. Welcome to my living room for a little good morning yoga with Firefly Wellness. Let's go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position. I always suggest moving the flesh around your sit bones, stacking your spine tall, giving your shoulders a couple of rolls up, back and down. And then when you're ready, we'll rest our hands at our knees, close the eyes. Take a moment to find grounding and comfort on your mat. Take a moment to find the present and find stillness in your body. Beginning at the top of the head, start to scan how you have physically arrived, how you've physically woken up this morning. Maybe run a full body scan starting at the head and working all the way down to the toes, stopping at the shoulders, the elbows and wrists, the upper, mid, and low back, chest and belly. Notice how the hips feel, the muscles in the front and back of the thighs, the knees, ankles, and toes. Check in with how your energy feels this morning. Check in with your mood. Recognize what you need from your practice. Feel free to form that into an intention or affirmation, or just allow it to be a passing thought. And let's take 3 cleansing breaths together. Deep inhale in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Again, deep breath in through the nose. Fill up the chest, the belly. Release the breath with a big sigh. One more time, inhaling in. Open mouth, let it go. Stack the spine tall once again. Allow the shoulders to soften from the ears, and then the shoulder blades squeeze towards each other at the back to open the space around the heart, open our space for breath. Seal the lips together and start to breathe in and out the nose. Aim to find a rhythm with your breath. So if you inhale in to the count of 4, you should exhale out to the count of 4. You inhale into the count of 7. Your exhale should be to 7. Take a few more breaths here, finding your rhythm. And concentrate on keeping your breath in your chest and your rib cage, perhaps gently hugging the low belly in and up to spine on the exhale. Five more breaths here together. Three more breaths together. The end of the next exhale, bring your chin down towards the chest. Start to move your chin from shoulder to shoulder. Finding slow rotations. Again, keeping the space around the heart open for the breath. Feel free to take full neck rotations, dropping the head back and lifting the chin. Reverse. Eventually, allow the head and neck to come back to center. Begin to blink the eyes open. We'll take our left hand to our right wrist and our right fingers behind us. Grow tall on your inhale. As you exhale, you'll open your right shoulder to the right side of your room, sitting tall. Maybe finding that gentle hug of the belly in and up to spine. Two more breaths here. Unwind through the center. We'll take our left hand down, send the right arm up and over. Your gaze can be at your left knee or maybe up towards your right hand. Let's roll the right shoulder open just a little bit and press the right hip and knee down so you're creating lots of space in your side body, lots of space in the right side of the ribs. Let's come all the way up and then begin to crawl the fingertips forward, spreading them wide, pressing your chest to the front of your mat, your shoulders back. Lengthen your mid and low back. A couple breaths more. Three more breaths. Exhale everything out. You'll start to walk your hands back in, restacking your spine. Remember which leg you crossed on top. We'll uncross the legs, press the fingertips down, lift the chest, and then drop your knees a couple of times from side to side. And then when you're ready, let's come back to our seated position. We'll cross the opposite leg on top. Find those sits bones once again. This time we'll bring our right hand to our left knee and our left fingers behind you. Grow tall on your inhale, roll the shoulder open on your exhale. Two more breaths. Unwind through the center. Your right hand comes down. Let's sweep the left arm up and over. So again, find the gaze that works best for your neck, either down to the right knee or up to the hand. We'll bring this left shoulder back just a little bit and press your left hip and knee down so you create space through the left side of the ribs. Good, let's come all the way up. Extend your arms out in front. Our right arm will come on top of our left for an eagle bind. Hands can either be at the shoulders, hugging the elbows in tight. Maybe the back of the hands are easier and more accessible for you. If you can get the full bind, go for it and have some tension there. Like really squeeze the elbows to each other, press the palms in towards each other, even if it's just the back of the hands. The elbows line up with the shoulders, press them forward. Feel the spine grow tall in your inhale. Feel that gentle hug of belly in on your exhale. Good, we'll let this side go. Give your shoulders a couple of rolls up, back and down. And then move into your second side. So take the arms out. The left arm will come on top. Again, find your bind. It doesn't have to be the same connection that you did on the first arm. I know there's lots of shoulder imbalances and maybe one version feels better on one side of the body. That is okay. Take a couple more breaths here. Try to create a little tension through the elbows and palms. Last 3 breaths. And start to let this go. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. One more time, we'll find our forward fold. So crawl the fingers forward to the front of your mat. Draw your shoulders away from the ears. And again, find length through the mid and low back. So we always look different in our forward folds. For some of us, you might have some tightness in our low back. Maybe your forward fold is all the way here with your fingertips near the knees. And some of us can flatten out and keep our back really long and straight. And that is okay too. So make sure that you have that awareness in your mid and low back. Take a few more inhales and a few more exhales. Good, we'll start to walk our hands back underneath the shoulders, restack your spine. Begin to transition onto your hands and knees. I'm gonna move my mat just a little bit forward. Spread your fingers wide under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Cows and cats, so dip the belly on the inhale. Exhale, we'll press the ground away, release the head and neck down. Inhale, lift the heart center, lift the sit bones. Exhale, press the ground away from you, release the head and neck. Take a few more rounds of breath here. Let's begin to find our neutral spine and take a few rounds of free movement of your spine and hips. So maybe you're looking to each hip, creating a C shape through the back. Maybe you're circling your hips around a few times in each direction. Another one that I like is rib cage circles, where you take a soft bend in the elbow, press your chest down, and circle through the upper back. So go ahead and find some movements. Make sure you even out the right and left. Continue to take your inhales, continue to take your exhales. Good. 2 more rounds of breath, 2 more rounds of movement. Begin to find your neutral spine. We'll walk a hand forward or a hand's distance forward of your shoulders. Tuck the toes and lift your hips for downward dog. On this first downward facing dog, bend and pedal your knees. Keep your feet hip width distance apart. Spread your fingers wide and press your chest and belly back towards your thighs. The head and neck should relax here. Find stillness now with the legs as you continue to press your chest back towards the thighs. We're here for 3, for 2, and 1. The knees lower down, sink the hips to the heels, child's pose. In child's pose, again, you can find your version that you prefer. Your knees can be close together with your feet separated, or you can connect your toes and widen your knees, just finding what you prefer. Same goes for the arms. Extend them forward, maybe with straight elbows, maybe the elbows bend. Maybe you want to bring your hands back by the feet. Those are all fine. So as you pause here for a couple moments in your child's pose, notice the breath once again. Observe the breath in the back side of the rib cage now. And on your exhalations, allow the hips to sink a little bit more towards your heels. Let's be here for 5 more breaths. 4 more breaths. 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, revisit your downward facing dog, spreading the fingers wide, pressing your hips up to the ceiling. Take 5 full breaths here. A couple more. So preparing for a lunge, lift your right leg up high, take an inhale, and as you exhale, we'll sweep that foot through to the hands, lower your left knee down. So as you come up, just a couple of self check-ins. Make sure your right knee is above the ankle. Make sure that as we start here, your toes point forward. This left knee can begin underneath the hip with just a little tuck of the pelvic bone here. Then we wake up the muscles in the front of the thighs. We'll start with our hands on the right thigh, and we'll just do a couple gentle pulses forward and back, forward and back. And then find stillness here in the pose. As we press our right hip down, we'll reach the left arm up and over, lengthening towards the, right side of your room. Let's do 3 more breaths here. One more breath. Come all the way up. Now we're going to deepen this pose. So for some of us to deepen this pose, that just means pressing the right foot forward, still keeping the knee above the ankle. Some of us might start to bring our fingertips down towards the ground. Maybe you come onto fists. Some of us might want to come all the way down to the forearms. If you have a yoga block, this is a great time to have it too at the inside of the right foot. We're walking the right foot a little bit towards the right side of our mat and pressing the left hip forward. Good. A few more inhales, a few more exhales. Good. One more breath. Let's start to let this go. We'll bring the right knee back. One more time, find a downward facing dog, tucking the toes, send your hips high, press your chest back towards the thighs. Preparing for a side two, let's inhale, sweep the left leg up. Exhale, step it through, drop the right knee down. Again, finding that gentle version of the lunge to begin. Left knee above the ankle, toes point forward. That little tuck of the pelvic bone, right knee is under the hip. We'll send our left hip down with our palm and reach the right arm up and over to the left side of our room. A few more breaths. Coming back through the center, let's start to bring our hands down to the inside of our left foot. Again, find a variation that works best for you. Toe heeling that foot towards the front corner of the mat. Take a few breaths here. Last 3 breaths, you got this. Exhale everything out, ease back out of this lunge. Take one more downward facing dog, tucking the toes, sending your hips high. This time we'll look to our hands and walk our hands and feet towards each other till we find ourselves in a standing forward fold. Have your feet hip width distance apart, a soft bend in your knee. Grab triceps and sway a couple times from side to side. Pulse the elbows down towards the toes. And then we'll release our arms down towards the mat. Begin to roll your spine up one vertebrae at a time. Last thing to lift is the head and neck. Big shoulder rolls up, back and down once you get to the top. Connecting your toes together. Let's reach our arms up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. Right hand takes your left wrist. Big side stretch. Send your left hip to the opposite side of the room, or left hip to the left side of the room. The right fingers reach to the right. Come back through the center. Take an inhale. Reverse it. Squaring the shoulders just a little bit. Press the right hip to the right side of the room. Good. Inhale back to center, and we'll let the arms go to our side. Let's take a couple of gentle half sun salutations, moving with our breath. Inhale, we reach the arms up high. Exhale, lift the belly as you fold. Bring your hands underneath your knees. Inhale, drag the chest forward. Exhale, hug the belly in as you fold over the legs. Press into your feet. Inhale, the arms come all the way up. Exhale, arms by your side. Let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, lift the belly as you fold. Big inhale as you drag the chest forward, hands under the knees. Exhale, lift the belly as you fold. Press into your feet, and inhale sweeps the arms all the way up. Exhale, arms by your side. Last time, inhale. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, we come all the way up. And exhale, arms by your side. So regardless of the way your mat is oriented right now, we'll take our ankles as wide as our wrists. So your feet are probably going to be off your mat like mine. Let's turn our left toes to the left side of the room and angle our right toes in just a little bit. Reach through your fingertips, lift your right hip up, and float the left hand down for a triangle pose. So the muscles of the legs are real active here. We're pressing down into the heels, the ball mound of our feet, really engaging the front and back of our thighs. And one more time, you'll find yourself breathing into the side body, creating lots of space in the right side of the rib cage. Let's come all the way up. Take an inhale. Start to bend into the left knee now, maybe widening your stance for warrior pose. So our hips are pretty much square to the front, or towards the camera. You're bending the left knee, keeping it above your ankle. Look over to the left hand. Good. We'll release the arms, let that go, re-straighten the leg. So start once again with your ankles as wide as your wrists, and we'll redirect our toes to the opposite side of the room now. So the right toes turn, angle the left toes in just slightly, extend the arms, lift the left hip, and then float the right hand down, triangle pose, second side. So again, really find the feet pressing down into the ground, finding space and breath in the left side of your rib cage. Two breaths more. Inhale and come all the way up. Let's bend into the right knee now, perhaps widening the stance of the feet. Extend the arms and look over your right hand. A couple more breaths. Good, we'll start to release our arms down, straightening that leg. Let's walk our feet together, coming to the front edge of your mat. Big toes touch. Inhale as we sweep the arms up. Exhale, lift the belly as you fold. Inhale, drag your rib cage forward. Exhale, bring the hands down, take a big step back with each foot. Find your downward facing dog. From here, lower down to the knees. Shift your hips off to one side and come back to a seated position. Extending your legs long out in front of you. We'll keep our left leg where it is. Hug your right knee in. Sit tall. Inhale with this left arm. Give your right knee a hug. Take a gentle twist to the right side of the room. A couple breaths here. Twisting to the right. Come back through the center. Let's switch our legs. We'll send the right leg long. Hug your left knee in. Grow tall. Inhale. Big twist now to the left side of the room. Two more breaths. And release. We'll bring the soles of our feet together for butterfly pose. Walk the feet in as comfortably close to the pelvis as you can. Open your feet like a book and then hinge forward one more time, lengthening from the mid and low back. Last three breaths. One more breath. We'll start to come all the way up. Press your knees in towards each other. We'll turn to the side and start to come back down onto our backs for bridge pose. So lower all the way down, keeping your knees bent. Arms alongside you. We'll give our low back a gentle tuck, and then when you're ready, press into your feet. Inhale and lift your hips up for bridge. Feel free to interlace the fingers underneath you. Take a couple more inhales and exhales here. Exhale, release, lower your knees down. Let's try a bridge pose one more time. A little tuck of the tail, arms alongside you. Inhale and lift your hips up. Take 5 more breaths. Begin to lower all the way down. We'll draw our knees into our chest and gently rock a couple of times from side to side. Plant your feet down onto the mat. Let your knees fall to the left side of your mat, reaching your arms out in a letter T. Just a couple breaths here, twisting the spine one last time. Then bring your knees back in through the center. Let them fall now to the right side of your mat, reaching through the fingertips. Just a gentle twist here. then we'll bring our knees back in through center. Give your body a little hug. Take a big inhale in through the nose. And with an open mouth exhale, release for a couple moments of Shavasana, extending your leg mat width distance apart, your arms alongside. We'll close the eyes and let your body feel supported. So it's important to take these couple moments during the day of just complete and total stillness, a little bit of mindlessness, so that you can feel calm the rest of your day. So I really encourage you to let it go right now for a couple moments. I promise I'll give you a cue to come out of your Shavasana when it's time. Begin to awaken the body back up. Start with a big inhale in through the nose. Release it with a big sigh. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Make circles with the wrists and ankles. Take a big stretch overhead. Bend one knee and then the other and roll to your favorite side. From there, press yourself up to seated like we began our class, and I invite you to bring your hands together at your heart center. I thank you for joining me this morning. Thank yourself for making it onto the mat. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. I apologize for technical difficulties. I'm not sure why my Facebook Live just completely glitched out. My whole Facebook app glitched out. Anyways, I just wanted to let you know that Firefly Wellness is available to set up some Zoom online yoga classes with me. I would love to work with you one-on-one, or we can even set up a small group class so that you can see some of your friends who we aren't able to see in this period of social distancing and our social isolation. So anyways, please reach out to Karen. She has info about that, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much for being here. Namaste.